So we'll be continuing working on the routes path, and okay, 1 second. So today we'll be continuing working on the routes path, and also we'll start something on JavaScript, some problem, let's say problems, we can call problems. So in the route path, we saw how to create the route. So if we go to the app.js, we created the router. The router should be at the top level, and then we created the switch statement, and we created different route. And route can be and the route can be called by component. We can call any component which we want, or route can be called using the render method. And inside the render method, we can call simple HTML, or we can call any other component. So these are the ways where we can how we can create the route. Now, many times we have the problem that one page needs one route and another page needs another route. So for example, I'll create two layout, one for one layout and two layout for different kinds of page integration. So let's say my website is having blue color on few pages and red color on few pages, and if we have common template or common this top navigation, then it will be difficult to go to one kind of layout or another kind of layout. So we need the layout to switch between one page or another page. So I will delete this top header and bottom footer. I will delete this part, and I will temporarily I'll put in some notepad, and then we'll copy this letter, and I'll put the bottom also in that notepad. Okay, so now if I see my website, so we have the page 1, 2, 3, but there's no header and footer. So now we will create two layout, one layout for few pages and another layout for another pages, and see how we switch from one layout to another layout. So let me create two layout. Okay, so I'll just go into the components and I'll create a new folder. Let's say layouts, and here I'll create two layouts. Maybe I'll say, let's say my MainLayout.jsx, and I will say new file as site layout, not site, maybe we can say layout2.jsx. So one is the main layout and another is layout2.jsx. Here I'll create simple JSX file. Okay, let me create JSX file. Okay, and here I will create some layout. Maybe I'll say, okay, Simon is not able to hear me. Let me see. Can you hear me, or only Simon is not able to hear me? Can anybody confirm? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, so there is problem with Simon's or audio.
It could be.
Yeah, okay. So in the first layout, I will create this layout like this. Here I will say it is my main layout, my main layout page, and I have to import the navigation part also. So navigation part is this one. So in the main layout, I will import navigation. It goes to one level back, and then inside the pages and inside the nav. So this is fine. So this is my main layout, but whatever content will come, whatever the in between content will come here inside these two HR tag. So I have explained you last time, we have one property called as children. So we will use that property to display the content here. So if I will say props.children, and I'll copy this to my layout 2. This is my layout 2, and it will be layout 2. So here also I copied same thing, only I changed the top heading to show you that this is kind of different layout, and here I am passing the props.children. So we created two layouts. People generally create one kind of auth layout and one is unauth layout. Unauth means the people who are not logged in can go to unauth, maybe login page or register page, and then once they register page, they goes to the main page where we have the main layout. So there are different versions of different kinds of layout, or maybe you can have, let's say, e-commerce website also, and you have classified website. Some pages are classified website, and some pages are e-commerce website. So you can also create two layout, one for the e-commerce, one for the classified. So there are different examples why you create multiple layouts. So this is the reason we should know how to use the multiple layout, because of many websites. Let's say if I go to Craigslist, on the home page it is different view, on internal pages it is different view. Either you build hole in the component or you build the layout kind of thing, so that you can differentiate between different pages. Okay, so now we created the two layout. We don't need these two, and we will close these two layout now. Okay, so now let me close this also. Okay, now since we created two layout, now we will call these two layout here on this page. So I will say import main layout from components layouts main layout. This is the one layout I call it here. Second is I will call layout 2, and I'll say layout 2. Okay, so now we have two layout kind of thing. We also need one more file, and that will be the I can name it that file as layout route.jsx. You can name anything whatever you want. Now this file will divide, will use this kind of route part to show which layout I want to display. So let's go to the layout route and I will create one JSX file. So here I'll say constant layout route. Okay, so now the content of this will be, I need a route, so I will import some statement. So I need only the route part, I don't need switch and browser route. Okay, so here I will create one route and it will be similar to this part. But here we'll do some changes in this portion of the code. So first we will pass the props here. Now we will define what things should come in this page. So for example, I'll do destructuring of props. And how I will do destructuring? One will be, I want which layout to display. So we have the two layout, main layout and layout 2. It may be 10 layout also, it may be 20 layout also, whatever layout number is there. So for each page, I want to specify whether I want main layout or the layout 2. So I want to know which layout I want to display. So one is the layout part. So I will be passing main layout or layout 2 in this component, and if I pass main layout, we will display main layout here, and if I pass layout 2, I should be displaying the layout 2 here. Then second thing which I need is component. Which component I want to call. Second thing is which component I need to call. And third thing will be I may pass path, I may pass other parameters, so that all will go into the third parameter, and I will name it as rest. So whatever parameters are coming, these two are important for me to understand in this page, but whatever other part or props is coming, I will put it in the rest. Now what I will do, I don't want to do path and exact because every page will have different path and exact parameter. So instead of putting path and exact, I will say rest part. I will use the rest part. So I'll delete these two and I will say rest. So whatever rest I'm sending it, I will be attaching it to this route. Now I have to call this layout here. But if I say like this layout, this will not work. Why this will not work? Because all the components should be of capital letter. This is a capital letter. If I don't pass capital letter, it will not work properly. So to rename it to capital letter, we have seen in destructure lecture that I can rename it to whatever I want. I will rename it to capital layout. So now I will pass this as a capital layout. So one thing is I got on this page that I am calling the layout part. Now if I go to any layout which we created, like layout 2, we want to pass the children to display it in between this content. Since we have to pass the children, that means we have to put that component here in between these two in this to layout tag, and that component will be this component which we are passing it. So again I can call this component, but I cannot call this component like this because we need capital letter for the component. In React, all the components should start with the capital letter. So I will also rename this component to capital component so that I can pass that component here. Now layout will be called here, which we can see that is this layout 2 will be called, all the main layout will be called. If layout 2 is called, we will display this part, and if main layout is called, we will display respective part, and whatever coming inside will go inside this children part. So in the layout route, the children part will get this component. This component should get some props, which are this matching props. So I will pass this matching props here, and this will be my layout route. So layout route takes the layout, which layout I want to display, I will display that layout here. Layout route also takes the component which to display, so I will pass it as a children here in this component part, in this children part, and whatever props are coming, I will pass these props into this component. So now my layout route is completed. I'll call this layout route in the app.js. I'll say import layout route from components, layouts, and layout route here. Okay, so first task was to create different components, layout components, which I created, main layout and layout 2. Second part is to define the layout route, which will bifurcate, which will bifurcate the route if I want to display the main layout or the layout 2. Now we have to call this, instead of this route path, we have to call this layout route. So for example, this about part, I want this about part to go into the main layout. So I will delete this part and I will rename it to layout route. So I'll create layout route and I will pass all the things same here inside here, same. So we get component, we get path, we get exact field, but we also need the layout part. So I will also pass the layout which I want to display. So here I want to display, let's say, main layout. So about page, I will delete the first route one and I will use the second one. So the about page will need the main layout. What about the contact page? Let's define the contact page. I'll copy the same and I'll paste it. And now here, instead of contact, this part contact, I'll put contact here, and component contact will come here. And for the contact, I need the layout 2. So I'll pass the layout 2 here. I'll delete this component contact part from here. So we replace the route path with the layout route, and layout route will go to the layout route component, and inside layout route component we are getting the layout, which I am renaming it to capital letter layout. I am also passing the component which I am renaming to the capital letter component, and the rest all other parameters are going here as it is. And then I create a simple route with the rest parameter. Rest parameter means what? That means the path and exact, which will go in place of the rest parameter. And we will also create the render, and inside the render we pass the matching props and we call the layout, and inside layout we call the component as a children. So if I go to the layout, it is getting the children in the props and I'm displaying this here. So this complete my layout, routing and layout. Now we will see in action whether everything is working fine or we have some error. Okay, let me open the browser. So let me open the home page. Since we did not put any layout for the home page, we are displaying this white. Let's go to about page. If I go to about page, you will see the main layout is coming with all the fields. This is the about page, and if I go to contact, it is going to the layout 2 and the contact page is displayed. So let's define for all pages, we'll define this routing. So instead of the route, I will be using layout route, layout route, layout route, layout route. And now I have to define which one will go to the main layout. For example, test one should go to main layout. And since we have to render, this may create a problem. So because we have already rendered there and passing the render here is not a good idea to put two render, it will create a problem. So right now I'll not do, for this I will not do, I will keep route as it is. Two render will be creating the problem. So we should always pass the component if we are defining the layout. So let me call the, so for about it is main layout, for contact it is layout. These two I kept it as it is, I am not changing this. And the third one, this page one, I am putting layout 2. And the last one, the home one, I am putting main layout. Now we'll test it. So contact home page, we have main layout, about main layout, layout 2, page 2. Okay, we got error on page 2. Let's see, page 1. What is the problem? Page 1 is also render. I told you, if it is render, we should either use component. To render is creating problem. Okay, so we need to remove the layout route and put the route. Okay, so page 1 is route. So these three things were calling the render already. That's why I did not use it in the routing part. But these three, I put the main layout and layout 2 page. We can create n number of layout and we can use it as it this one. So to summarize, so that you can remember, I will write down the steps which we have to follow. So for example, in the layout route, what we have to do? Step 1, create 2 or more layout components like main layout, layout 2. Step 2, create layout route. Now what is the name of that one? Yeah, layout route component which will divide, which will display other layouts. And then step 3, in app.js, import main layout, layout 2 and layout route. You can add more layout also if you want. And then create the route like this. I'll say step 4. Create a route using layout route instead of normal route. So the layout route will be, it will be having same parameters like route, like path, exact parameter, and it may have component also, which already our route have, for example, home component, and it will be having one more parameter that is called the layout. And here I have to pass which layout I want to display, whether it's a main layout or it's a layout 2. So one of the layout route I will create like this, another I will create with layout 2. So this way we define the layout route and display different header and footer for few pages and different for few pages. Do you have any questions in layout? If you have, just you can ask me. So do you have any questions in layout, or do you need any understanding on any point for layout, on any questions in the layout?
Manish, I have one question.
Yeah, ask.
So, okay, so we have written the matching props.
Yes.
Okay, so where from that matching props is coming? Where is coming?
Okay, so this matching props is automatically passed by React, and you know, if I'm calling this component, for example, let me revert back to this route part, and I'll remove the layout part. So if I go to about page, let's go to about page and see what things are coming. So here I will say props. So this is provided by React, and but what it consists of, let's see. Console.log props are props. So let me open the browser and I'll go to about page. So you will see this props is having, few already properties which are not defined by me. These are not defined by me. This is passed by by the React. What are these properties? Like history, location. Location means which page we are referring to, and match will tell the params. Match will take the path. Match will take the URL, whatever URL it is. These are the React router DOM is providing these properties, which is injecting in this component. Now let's do one thing. So we are getting this props from the React router DOM, actually from this one, which is secretly sending it to this component, and that is the React router DOM. Because of this router, it is automatically injecting in the component.
Okay.
Now, in the layout route, those same properties are coming here also. It's automatically injecting by the React router DOM. If I don't pass this matching props here, so it will be only calling the component. Now, let's replace this route to layout route, and I will pass the layout part, layout in main layout. So what I have done, I have removed the props. Now I'm calling the about page. So if you see now, props are coming empty because I'm not passing the matching props, which are really provided by React router DOM. So I won't be able to see the history. I won't be able to see the location and all. And then I won't be able to play with it when I will be building lot of things using those parameters. So we need this matching props, and this is automatically given by in the render. It is automatically provided by React router DOM, so we don't have to do any extra effort to get it.
Okay. Thank you. So we can use any names here, matching props or something like that, or is it predefined keyword?
You can name anything.
Okay. Thank you.
Any other question, or we'll move further? Okay, so I put the steps here in this text file. You can go through it, try to create some route. It takes hardly 5-10 minutes to create the route and implement the routing part. Then tomorrow we will do the private route. So I told you that there is some kind of private route where we have auth only logged in user can use, and some are the public route where everyone can go. So that part is also similar to this part, but it has some additional logic to only allow auth users to access some component and non-auth user to access everyone, uh, all users. So we will do that tomorrow. So today's part is only to go with the layout route. And if you have any problem, you can ask me in Telegram that you don't understand this particular thing. I will explain that part. Now, next thing is what we will do today. So understanding or learning React is not the only thing which you have to do. You have to work hard in the JavaScript to get the job in JavaScript or React.js. So most of the time when you go for a React job, they will ask only few questions about the React. Most of the questions will be of general JavaScript, of the problems in the JavaScript. So we will be doing that part also every day, some of that part and some part of the React. So I will be sharing first problem with you. One problem we already did when we were doing the destructuring, that is a swapping of the variable. Today we'll see few more problems, at least one problem more, and then we'll every day we'll see some more problems, because you should be hands-on in the problems also. So the problem here is like this. Today's problem is like this. One second. Yeah. So I will write on the problem today. Today's problem. So the problem is we have to reverse the string. It's very easy to reverse the string, but we are doing some different ways to do the reverse string, and it will help us to do the more difficult problems in the future. Reverse the string. For example, if I give you apple, you should return elppa like this. Or if I give you cat, you should return it tac. So we have to reverse the string. Whatever is supplied, you should reverse that string and you should give the reverse string in back. So we will do that part now. So there are different ways to do this problem. We will see the different methods also. Let's go with the method 1. So I will say function reverse string. I will create always the function whenever we want to do the problem. And this function should accept some parameter. So all the functions should have some input and some output based on the logic required in the problem. Some output. So what input is required? We have to pass the input here in this function. What input is required? We require the apple or cat. So let's say some kind of string, str. And we have to output something. What we have to output? We have to output also the string. So I will just output this. This is my output statement. This is my input statement. Okay, let me write down here in the here. Okay, so we need something in the input part and we have to return it output part. So whatever string we get, we have to reverse the string and return it back here. So how we will do using the method 1? So first thing is we have to convert the string to array. So the step 1 will be, I will write down the steps which we will be using. Step 1 will be convert the string to array. So for example, what I mean by convert to array means, so for example, if I am passing cat, I should create an array with C letter, A letter and T letter. So I will convert this into the array like this. And then what I will do, what is the step 2? I will put this here. Okay, after I convert this array into the array, what is the next step? Next step is, in array we have the function to reverse it. In JavaScript array, we don't need to do any hard work. We have already the function to do the reverse of this using the reverse array method. So whatever array I get, I will reverse it. There is a reverse function, inbuilt function. We will do manual reverse also in the method 2 or method 3, but this in method 1 I am using the default method of the JavaScript to reverse the string. So for if I use reverse, array will become T, then A will become A and it will become C. So it is actually reversing the array elements. And then what will be the step 3? So whenever you get a problem, you have to define the problem into what steps you will be doing to achieve the result. So first I did a string to array, then reverse the array, and then what we will do third. Now we will convert from array to, let's say, convert array to string and return it. Since I want the string as output, so whatever array I got, I will convert it back to the string and I will return that string here. So these are the steps which we will follow to achieve the result. Now let's do the practical how it will work. So first I have to convert the array to string. So how to do that? So I will create the array as arr. Since I want to create the array, so I will do arr is equal to what I am getting, string. And to convert string to array, we will use the function, JavaScript function that is called a split. And in a split, we need to take the first parameter. We need to take the parameter as how we want to split it. So I just want to split with each character. So I'll say empty string. So in the split, let's say how the split works. Let's understand how the split works. So for example, if I have the string cat, now if I do str.split with nothing in this, empty, so it will take C separate, A separate, T separate, and I will assign it to var array. Now array will be having cat. Now I can split it words also. For example, if I have str2 equal to there was a cat. Now if I want to split with the space here, that there should be different word, was different word, a is different word, cat is different word. Now what I will use for the split? I will say var array2 is equal to str2 dot split. So instead of empty text, I will give some space here. If I give space here, it will split this using the space. So the ultimate result will be there will be in the separate element, was will be a separate element, a will be separate element, cat will be the separate element. So if I type arr2, I will see there is a separate, was is separate, a is separate, and cat is separate element in the array. So the split divide the string into array based on the parameter which I give. If I give nothing, that is empty parameter, then it will take each character into the separate array. But if I give space, then it will take space as a uh, parameter to divide this into the array. So right now I need each character. That's the reason I will use a empty space. Means nothing is there. And here I am giving one space here. So now let's go back to the problem. So we divided the cat into the array. So this step is consisting this part array. Now we got the array. Now we have to reverse it. So I will say I will create another variable constant reverse array equal to I got array, and to reverse it I will use the function array function of JavaScript called as reverse. So whatever array I got here is reversed in this step. And now the third step will come. Since it is reverse, and reverse will have this part. Now we have this part. Now we have to convert it back to the string. So to convert it back to the string, I will create another variable called as finalString equal to, now to convert back array to a string, we have the JavaScript function called as, I will use this reverse array first, reverseArr.join. Like split was splitting the cat into the array, join will take the array and convert it back to the string based on the information I give here. If I give space here, then it will take T space A space C. If I don't give anything, it will take T, A, and C. And I will finally return this final str here in this function. So the step 1 was to convert string to array. Step was to reverse the array, and step 3 will be to convert array to a string using the join method. Now if I use this function here, and then I will call this function with something, let's say cat. So return will be TAC. Let's say if I call this function with apple, the reverse will be elppa. So these are the 3 steps which we used to convert a string to array, an array to reverse array, and reverse array to again string, and we finally return back the final string. There are 2 more methods to do the same thing, and we will do that tomorrow, both the methods, and we may do more problems also if we get time. So this is what we will do today only. You have any questions, you can ask. So every day I want you to work on some problems every day, so that after 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, when you go for interview, you will have lot of practice of different problems. We will be doing 500 to 1000 problems in this whole session till I complete the whole JavaScript and React lesson, so that once you go for interview, you should be well prepared for all the problems which they can ask. So I'll be taking almost all kinds of problems which generally are asked in the interview. So any questions on this?